We can start. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bárbara Carmona, Vice President of the Spanish Chamber of Commerce in Canada and Chief Representative Officer of CaixaBank in Toronto. Welcome to the Buying a Property in Spain webinar, a comprehensive guide crafted to illuminate the path to owning real estate in Spain as a non-resident. From macroeconomic perspectives to localized strategies, our panelists today will equip you with the tools you need to navigate this exciting venture. I extend a warm welcome to our panelists, Judith Montoriol, Lead Economist at CaixaBank Research, Laura Yamaguchi, Director of Hola Bank, and the area directors of Hola Bank across Spain, spanning from Canary Island to Madrid. Additionally, we are privileged to have Nadia Castillo, a specialist from the brokers group at Hola Bank, focusing on the Valencia area. Maria Jose Sanchez, Business Development Executive at Fuster and Associates, and Miguel Ataz, Branch Director at Hola Bank, overseeing the Mediterranean coast area, enriching our discussion with their invaluable insights. Throughout this webinar, we'll explore a comprehensive agenda, delving into macro Spain and the nuances of the real estate market. Our roundtable discussion promises to offer a deep dive into the intricacies of real estate transactions in Spain. I invite you to stay tuned and raise your questions during the session in the chat. We will endeavor to address some of these questions at the end of the session or via email afterward. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to each of you. And now I yield the floor to Judith Montoriol, Lead Economist at CaixaBank Research.
Hello. I'm very happy to be here and share with you the outlook of the Spanish economy and the real estate market in Spain. I work in the research department at CaixaBank, and basically our work is to analyze the economic environment and to do projections, forecasts for the next few quarters and years. So I would like to share with you a presentation, and I would ask if they can give me permission to share a presentation.
You have permission already, Judith.
Well, I get a message saying that I cannot have. That I do not have the permission to share. Maybe you can try again. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. No, it's not working. It just worked a few minutes ago.
Okay. Moment. I did it again. Please, can you try again?
Yes, now it's working. Yes.
Okay, thank you
very much. Okay, here we are. If you could please confirm that you can see it. Just to make sure.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. So before going to the outlook for the real estate market in Spain, I wanted to start more with a broader perspective and look at the economic outlook for the Spanish economy. And before going to Spain, one of the key variables that we have to look for the past couple of years is inflation. Inflation spiked to more than 10% in the Eurozone because of the supply bottlenecks after the pandemic, also because of the Ukraine war and the energy shock that we had afterwards. So we had this very high inflation spike in 2022, and because of that, the European Central Bank increased interest rates to very high levels, 4% in the deposit rate, just to make this inflation to go down. So in which situation we are right now is that inflation has decreased very decline markedly in the Eurozone. The last number is 2.6 for May, sorry. So we are really not yet to the 2% objective of the European Central Bank, but we are getting closer to this objective. And thanks to this disinflation process, last week, the European Central Bank decreased interest rates by 25 basis points to 3.75 in the deposit rate, as you can see in the second chart. And this starts this process of normalization of monetary policy in the Eurozone. Our projections, or what we expect, is that the inflation will decrease in the next few months, and this will allow for the ECB to continue to gradually decrease interest rates. So we expect 3 more interest rates declines this year and a couple more in 2025. Basically, this is very important because when we look at the real estate market, interest rates are one of the key determinants in the short term for the evolution of prices and transactions. And this has been a factor that has restrained a bit the evolution of the market in Spain, and now we see that this is gonna be a tailwind for the following months. Also, I wanted to highlight the evolution of the Spanish economy. Here in this chart, you have the GDP quarter-on-quarter growth rate for Spain and also the main advanced economies, and you can see that the Spanish economy has been doing quite well. Okay, so it has overperformed the European average. We had these very robust growth rates in the past quarters, and we are well above the pre-pandemic level in terms of GDP. And you can see that it's now 3.7%, while the Eurozone is 3.4% before the fourth quarter, with respect to the fourth quarter of 2019. So very good performance of the Spanish economy. You can see in these charts a little bit more of the detail. So basically what is driving growth in the Spanish economy is the service sector, especially tourism, which I'm going to talk a little bit more next. You can see manufacturing that has a little bit lower levels in terms of the indicators, but you can see that it's also gradually increasing and well above 50, which is in the expansionary zone. In the middle chart, what you have is job creation. And you can see that in the last months, Spanish economy has been very dynamic in terms of job creation. Okay, so in fact, we have more a problem of shortage of labor force, and we have a lot of sectors signaling that the lack of workers is kind of what is limiting their growth. Okay, so in the past 2 years, just to give a figure, what we have in Spain is that we had 1 million persons that entered the country, so we are having big inflows of migration, and these are workers that are getting absorbed into the labor market very easily. A lot of these workers come from Latin America, which we share a common language, culture, and they have a high level of education, which makes them very easily to be absorbed in the labor market in Spain. In the last chart, the third chart, it's about the debt levels in the private sector, in companies and households. And this is a chart to illustrate that despite the high interest rates that we had in the past couple of years, the impact on the macro economy in Spain has been very limited, because after the debt levels, they peaked in 2010, we have experienced a important process of deleveraging, okay, reduction of debt for households and companies, and despite the increase in interest rates, the overall impact on the payments for interest rates has been quite limited this time. Okay, and just to give a little bit more of information on the main engine of growth of the Spanish economy, which is tourism. Here, what you have in the first chart is the number of overnight stays by foreigners. So last year, in 2023, Spain received 85 million international tourists, and this is the second country in the world after France. France received around 100 million tourists, international tourists. Spain, 85 million. Okay, so We are fully recovering the numbers, pre-pandemic numbers. We are well above those, especially when we look at expenses, international expenses of tourists. And this is what you have in the second chart, where basically what you have is 100 would be the level, the pre-pandemic level in 2019. And you can see that expenses by foreigners in Spain are well above 2019 levels. And you can see by regions of origin, you can see that Latin America and North America are the ones that are growing faster in these past years. These indicators come from a web page that we have in CaixaBank Research, which are indicators that we construct using the payments in the points of sales of CaixaBank by foreigners when they come to Spain. And in particular, what we can look is at the country of origin. So here I just put this chart to show about Canada. If you have some curiosity to see how Canadians are visiting Spain, you can see that, well, when we compare with Mexico or the USA, we have Mexico, which is growing faster, and it's 11% of the total of this North America origin. And you can see that Canada is 6.8% of the total, but also growing quite fast. Okay. And after this brief overview of the Spanish economy and the tourist sector, I wanted to go into more detail on the real estate market in Spain. I will start with the supply. The supply side, the production of new housing in Spain is very, very limited. So what we are having right now is a shortage of housing, and in particular because we are having this very dynamic demographics with a lot of inflows of migration. What we are having is this gap between the net household creation every year compared to the production of new housing that has been widening. Okay, so you can see here in 2022, 2023, this very big gap here. And this is one of the main drivers of prices, of housing prices in this cycle. Okay. On the other hand, we have supply very limited and not growing. And on the other hand, we have demand that is very strong, and it's supported by employment growth, migration, housing deleveraging, okay, the favorable financial situation of housing, and also foreign demand. Foreign demand, I will talk a little bit more in detail later, but because we have this imbalance between supply and demand, we have prices that are picking up despite the high interest rates. We have seen prices growing very vigorously, especially new housing, which is very scarce this time around. When we go a little bit more deeper and we look at the different provinces, the 50 provinces that we have in Spain, you can see in this chart that there is a positive correlation between house price growth and population growth. And you can see that we have kind of like different velocities, the speeds of growth, and areas that are very touristic, very dynamic in terms of economic activity, in terms of demographics. You can see also that they are very dynamic in terms of the housing market. And not surprisingly, you have here all the touristic destination, Balearic Islands, Canary Islands, Malaga, Alicante, and of course the main urban centers, Madrid and Barcelona. You can see in this other chart, it's to try to illustrate the same idea. When we compare the prices in the municipalities, the ones that are touristic and the rest of the municipalities, you can see that housing prices in touristic municipalities are higher and they are growing faster. And the gap between the two is getting bigger and bigger. So we cannot talk about one housing market in Spain. You can see that there are all these different speeds, and certain municipalities really growing very, very fast. And one of the reasons of this is foreign demand. Foreign demand has been growing very importantly after the pandemic. 2022 was the maximum of the foreign demand, no purchases by foreigners in Spain, which were about 96,000 units, according to the register's statistic. After this maximum in 2022. We had a small decline in 2023, 7.5% decline, but still, the second best year in, the history of this statistic. And now we have data for the first quarter of 2024. What we are seeing is some moderation of the demand. Okay, so in year-over-year terms, we have seen a decline of 7.9%, but in absolute value, we are still above 20,000 units purchased by foreigners, which is, very high levels in historical terms. So this foreign demand is concentrated basically in the Mediterranean Arch and also in the islands, Balearic Islands and Canary Islands. You can see that Alicante is the province where we had more of these foreign purchases, which is 43% in the first quarter of 2024. Okay, so in Alicante, about half of the market is foreigners. By nationalities, you can see in the bar chart in this presentation that it's mainly European nationalities, the UK, Germany, France, Netherlands, Belgium. Okay, so these are the traditional nationalities that buy a house in Spain. But what we have been observing in the past few years is diversification in terms of the nationalities, and the ones that are growing faster are, for instance, Latin American, and also from the US, and of course Canada, which are growing really very fast. They still don't make a big portion of the pie, but they are the faster growing nationalities. Also, when we look at the prices of the properties that foreigners buy in Spain, what we observe is that they tend to buy more expensive housing units. And also we observe that about 1 out of 3 foreigners also ask for a mortgage in Spain. And when they ask for a mortgage, they are in general of bigger amount than of Spaniards. Okay, so Spaniards is about 150,000 euros. It's like the average mortgage of Spaniards that buy a house. And you can see that Germany, USA are above, so it's double. It's 300,000. Okay. Also, why all these foreigners are buying properties in Spain, which is about, I haven't said this figure, it's about 50% of the total market. And so when in order to answer this, of course, we all know culture, gastronomy, and many other, the weather, there are all these reasons why foreigners buy Spain. A way to put numbers to this idea is to look at the World Competitiveness Report that produces the World Economic Forum. And you can see in this chart that Spain is the second country in terms of tourist competitiveness in the world after the USA. And then in the table, you can look at some of the items, some of the elements that foreigners, that tourists value of Spain. We rank quite high in terms of natural resources, in terms of cultural resources, in terms of ICT readiness. So we have very good connections, internet connections and Wi-Fi. We also have very good infrastructure and airline connections with many countries. Also business environment, it's more or less okay. Also in terms of price competitiveness, we don't rank that high here because we had, of course, an advanced economy. If we compare with Turkey, for instance, we rank a little bit worse than Turkey, but compared to other European destinations, we are quite okay, in terms of price competitiveness. Okay, so these are kind of like the main reasons. And I would like to highlight also the safety of the country, and this is quite important at this time where we have geopolitical tensions in some countries, Mediterranean countries, and this is deviating some tourism to countries like Spain, which are perceived to be very, very safe. And in terms of looking more in the long term, what we observe is that the demographic trends in Europe, with all the aging population, we have the baby boom cohorts that are starting to retire, and a lot of them have very good health, very long life expectancy. They also have higher wealth than previous cohorts, and we are observing that most of them are coming to Spain to retire. So they buy a home here, and so in a way we are kind of becoming the Florida, no, of Europe. It's not just the demographic trends. We also are observing that these new ways of working, like digital nomads, are attracting a new type of population that come to Spain to spend some periods of time in the country, and they are like more middle-aged population that are coming at this time. So we think that Spain has a very favorable environment with this positive outlook of the real estate market, the attractiveness of the tourism sector, and we have a real estate market that is quite adapted to the preferences of foreign demand. Of course, we have some challenges, especially in terms of some regulations on the rental market, or the impact that all of this is having to housing affordability and the need to increase the supply of affordable housing in Spain. But overall, we believe the environment is quite positive. And I just wanted to finish with these numbers. So we will, of course, have this presentation available to all of you who are interested. So you have our projections here, our forecasts. So is that demand will remain very strong. Supply will gradually increase because there is this big demand, this supply demand imbalance that I talk about. But of course, there are many limitations to increase supply rapidly. So we have a projection of a gradual increase of supply over time. We have a quite positive outlook for prices and a spike in this year in 2024 because of all the factors that have been supporting demand will be present. And we have this decrease in interest rates that the ECB started last week, and they will go on gradually in the next quarters, and this will support housing prices in Spain going forward. Okay, and finally, you have a table if you are interested in knowing all the projections for the Spanish economy. All the detail is here. So I will stop here and just direct you to our webpage where you can find the reports on the real estate market that we publish every 6 months. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Judith. It's really a pleasure to have you today, providing this valuable information about the Spanish economy and the focus on the real estate and the demographics. I think it's good to see that Spain has so many good things to offer, no? for non-residents coming to live into the country. So now I will give the floor to Laura Yamaguchi, Director of Hola Bank, that she will explain the value proposal of CaixaBank when it comes to serving international clients. Laura, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Barbara, and good afternoon to everyone, and good morning in Canada. Thank you for inviting us. It's a pleasure or an honor to be here with you, and especially Barbara. Thanks, and Judith. It's certain that Spain is on fashion. I think that it has so many things to appreciate, and I would like first of all to ask about CaixaBank. And you know, this is the largest bank in terms of clients with about 17 million. And we are specialized in serving non-resident clients, setting us apart from other banks, including our own branches that are not Hola Bank. Because you maybe are wondering, what is Hola Bank? Hola Bank is just a brand. It's not a bank. And we are a brand from CaixaBank, especially designed to international clients. So we understand the difficulties that non-residents face when it comes to Spain, and have tailored solutions to meet their needs, ensuring a smooth and efficient banking experience. So we look forward to creating valuable synergies with you. And if you indulge me, I would like to show you a short presentation. This is the aim that we are looking for, is to be your bank in Spain. So that's why I would like to talk first about which we are in Spain. We have 300 branches. As you can see, these are located in the tourist main tourist spots, and all the major cities like Madrid or Barcelona. And also we have an in-touch service. This is the name of the online advisors that are specialized in international clients. This is a 100% remote service. So we have we are in the street with our branches, and these are specialized just on international clients. They can speak on your own language. And I think that this is the matter that make the difference between us and the other banks in Spain. So what you used to say when people is coming to Spain is that we want to be very close to you. And I would like firstly to explain what is Olabank. Olabank is, as I have said before, is a brand. It's a brand of CaixaBank. It's CaixaBank's program, and it's especially designed for all the international clients that wants to come to spend long periods of time because of retirement or because they are thinking to come to Spain to work, like the nomads nowadays. That is regulation begins last year in Spain, and those who wants to come to Spain to settle. So we have some products or services, and the resume is we have the same products for non-residents, but we have been thinking about what are the difficulties that you find when you come to Spain. First of all, the language, and the second one, the documents, and both are the easier things that because we can take care of your home, your life, your car, and digital banking, of course, it's all in English and in other 22 languages. But I repeat that the thing that I think is more appreciated is to have the expert advisors in all our offices, about 500 persons specialized. Second one is the Olabank account. We have this club that you can be member if you have the Olabank account. And it has some services, about 21 services, that make your day-to-day chores easier. For example, you can ask us to request your foreign ID number that you need to operate in Spain, or online translation unlimited. And the last one is the online mortgage, because if you are thinking to buy a home in Spain, you can think, oh, how can I do it? It's very difficult. But with this tool, you can do it from your home in Canada, and you can ask this mortgage with your own documentation without no translation, and we can give you a response very soon. So last one is because and now I would like to introduce you to some of our partners from all the areas of Spain. But first, I would like to show you that we are in Andalusia, Baleares, Barcelona, Catalonia, Canarias, Madrid, or Mediterranean area, Valencia and Murcia. So I would like to give this moment to our team in Spain. So I take down the video, and that's all for you.
Well, good morning. This is Marian Rodriguez, Olabank manager of Mediterranean Coast. And first of all, I would like to thank you and congratulations for this webinar, Buying a Property in Spain. Well, our area starts from the north with Castellón, then it comes Valencia, then Alicante, where the most of our foreign clients are and come. And finally, in the south, we have Murcia. This is a place where we work with plenty of beach areas, golf courses, good weather and good gastronomy, giving our clients the best place to come to Spain. Some interesting figures, as Judith Montoriol has said, is that around 30–40% of home purchases in our area comes from foreign clients, and especially Canadian customers used to choose Valencia City as their favorite destination. So here we are to welcome them and help them with everything they need in our lovely area in Spain. Thank you very much.
Good morning in Canada, good afternoon in Spain. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. I am Marcos, responsible for Halabank in the Canary Islands. Briefly, the Canary Islands are of volcanic origin and are made up of 8 islands located in the Atlantic Ocean, northwest of Africa. We have a population of 2.2 million inhabitants, and last year we were visited by almost 14 million tourists. We have one of the best climates in the world, with an average annual temperature of between 22 and 24 degrees Celsius, with almost no changes between winter and summer. Amazing nature and excellent gastronomy. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon here in Spain and good morning in Canada. I am Nuria Montolio, the area manager for international clients in Barcelona. Barcelona is a cosmopolitan city on the Mediterranean Sea, and it has become one of Europe's most important technology hubs with over 150 international companies choosing the city as its base. As many of you will already know, the city has been the host for the Mobile World Congress for many years. In Barcelona, you can find a great work-life balance. The city has a rich cultural and gastronomical life, and of course, is home to Barcelona Football Club. Barcelona has so much to offer you on a personal and professional level, and we are here for helping you. Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning. Here from Nina. My name is Nina. I'm the manager for international clients in CaixaBank on the Balearic Islands. This area consists of 4 islands in the Mediterranean Sea: Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza, and Formentera. The Balearic Islands are one of the most popular touristic destinations in Spain, and we have an increasing interest amongst tourists and investors, and also lately several celebrities, especially from the Northern American area, who enjoy not only the excellent climate, but also the investment opportunities in real estate in our region. We really hope to welcome you soon to our islands. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Canada. I am Pilar Moreno, the director of Hola Bank in Madrid. And Madrid is the political and business capital of Spain, with 7 million inhabitants, generates 20% of GDP and 25% of employment. Madrid receives 54% of the total foreign direct investment in Spain. 2 of every 3 Spanish companies in Forbes Global 2000 ranking are based in Madrid. It's the second hub in Europe for technology companies. Madrid is a center of a network of roads and railways that connect the entire Iberian Peninsula and the rest of Europe by land, gateway of the markets of America, Europe, Africa, and Middle East. Wide range of schools and universities of great prestige and qualification are located in Madrid. Some of the most prestigious business schools in the world offer courses in Madrid, including the Instituto de Empresa, ESADE, IESE, EOI. And Madrid offers not only excellent opportunities for investment, training, and professional growth, but also much more. The quality of life in Madrid is unique, since it has an international education system that begins in elementary school, healthcare system, and safety indicates that are among the highest in Europe. This also helps to attract and retain the talented employees. So welcome in Madrid.
Nice. Thank you very much, team. great team, Hola Bank in Spain. And I would like to thank you for considering our proposal and thank you for your attention and hopefully your business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you all the Hola Bank team. It's great to see the faces and have your contact details so we can refer you with Canadians looking forward to buy a house or open an account in Spain. So now we will move forward to the next point in the agenda, which is the roundtable. So we want to discuss the legal aspects of property acquisition in Spain for non-residents. So let's start with some introductions. Joining us today, we have Nadia Castillo, a specialist in brokers at Hola Bank, representing the Valencia area. Maria Jose Sanchez, business development executive at Fuster and Associates. And Miguel Ataz, branch director at Hola Bank, representing the Mediterranean coast area. Thank you all for being here. Each of our panelists brings a wealth of experience and insights to the table, and I'm excited to delve into our discussion. To our audience members, your presence here enriches our conversation, so please feel free to ask questions in the section of Q&A that you can see in the Zoom. So let's get started. I will start with Maria Jose. So please, Maria Jose, engage your camera and your mic.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant.
So Maria Jose, would you like to kick us off with your insights on the legal requirements and steps when buying a property in Spain for a non-resident?
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much, Barbara. Thank you for inviting me. Good morning, Canada, y buenas tardes, España. Good afternoon, Spain. And let me explain you this. Before starting, let me introduce myself very quickly. As you mentioned, I'm Maria Jose from Fuster and Associates Solicitors. We are a law firm with more than 20 years of experience in the real estate market, immigration, and international fiscal and taxation. Regarding your question, we totally understand that many clients could think that maybe it's difficult to buy a property abroad, but let me tell you, it's not difficult at all. It is extremely important to work with an independent lawyer who will need to look after a client's interest. What do we do and how do we work with our client? The first thing, clients grant power of attorney to us so we can work on their behalf. This power of attorney can be signed either in Spain or here, there in Canada before a notary. We normally say the client that when they are here in Spain viewing property, take advantage of that trip and sign the power of attorney here in Spain because it's going to be much easier and much more economic. But as I say, it's not a problem. If that is not possible, it can be signed in Canada perfectly. What do we do with this power of attorney? The first thing, we get the NI number for our clients. I will explain later what is this NI number, but basically it's a number that every foreigner needs when they want to make any financial transaction here in Spain. We also open a bank account with the power of attorney. That is absolutely necessary when buying a property here in Spain, and also make contact with the vendor to ask for all the legal document of the property that they are interested in buying, to make sure that it's 100% legal, there is no debt or encumbrancy. Because of course, for us, the most important is our client security, and they are buying 100% safe. There is another thing which is very important, that it's not just making sure or make sure that they are buying a property which is 100% legal, but also to make sure that their payments are also protected. When clients are buying a new building property, they will be required to make all the payment directly to the developer bank account. They are buying a property, they make a deposit, and then they have to do different payments. That account, that developer bank account is not guaranteed, is not protected. So by law, for every payment, the developer must provide a bank guarantee. So if something occurs with the developer or the developer goes bankrupt, the money will be 100% refundable. But people who are in Spain, you know, the Spanish bureaucracy is not the quickest, and sometimes the developer start building and selling properties without having this bank guarantee. It doesn't mean they are bad, but they don't have all the documents to provide this bank guarantee. So what do we do in this case? We always advise our client that rather making any transfer to the developer, make all the payments through our Trust Client Bank account. It is a secure bank account. In this case, what we normally do is we keep the money, the payment in our bank account, and we don't transfer the money until we are 100% that the developer is going to provide that bank guarantee. So as I said, is to make sure that our clients are always protected.
Thank you, Maria Jose. I think it's a very important first step. Hire a law firm that can assist you during the process and the first things that you need to do, no? Like getting the NIE and the bank account and etc. No? So thank you for that. Now I will pass the word to Nadia. So Nadia, please engage your camera and mic.
Sure. Hello, Barbara.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello, Nadia.
Yes, thank you for this introduction. As you said, I'm the specialist for the Southeast region of Spain and responsible for channeling mortgage operations that we receive from our broker network. Other regions of Spain are covered by my counterpart for its own, and we all work in the same way. We receive all the mortgage cases from our brokers, and after analyzing each case, if it's viable, then we send our offer to the broker, which they in turn present to their clients. So we try to do all this within 72 hours because we know how important it is for them to get a reply as soon as possible. And regarding the collaboration contract, it's a very simple process. There is no need to come to Spain, obviously. So if you want to sign a collaboration contract with CaixaBank, you just need to send the company statutes, details of the bank account where commissions are going to be paid, the copy of the company accounts, profit and loss, and the recent credit report of the company. And with all this information, we can complete the collaboration contract with their details ready to sign. And once had been signed, both sides, we can start working together. So really, really easy.
Yes, just to clarify to the audience, Nadia takes care of the relationship with brokers, real estate brokers. So a Canadian real estate broker can set up an agreement with CaixaBank, with Olabank, and help you through the process of buying a property in Spain as an individual. So in that case, I want to mention that we have two members of the Spanish Chamber of Commerce in Canada that are Canadian real estate brokers. I think one is joining the call today as an attendee, is Chelo Dueñas, based in Toronto. And we have also Home Life, which is another real estate broker here in Ontario. So if anyone in the audience would like to be introduced to these members, please feel free to let me know and I will do it after the webinar. So now I will pass the word to Miguel as branch manager at CaixaBank, Olabank. Could you please explain us your experience in opening bank accounts for international clients and how the mortgage application process works?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for allowing me to participate in this event. I am Miguel. I run a branch of Olabank in the southeast of Spain on the Mediterranean coast. Here we have a lot of visitors and international tourists, and obviously many of them are our clients. So we are used to working with international clients and to opening accounts for them. We strongly advise when it comes to open an account for them to grant power of attorney to someone who can do it on their behalf. Fuster and Associates is a good example of that, for example. And why is that? Because in my experience, clients see the need to have an account in Spain when they are still in their country. And you cannot open an account by yourself when you're in Canada. But everything goes very easy when you give power of attorney to someone and you have your account. You have access to our online banking application, and you have direct access to a bank advisor who will be in contact with you in your own language. When it comes to a mortgage request, at Olabank, when we receive a mortgage request, obviously we will assess the application. And we like to discuss with the client about what is the best sort of mortgage that will meet their needs in the best way. For example, we have floating rate mortgages, we have fixed rate mortgages, mortgages in euros, but also in Canadian dollars for residents in Canada. Our mortgages are based on affordability, which means that we need to determine the capacity of payment of the client, which is very understandable. Everything done in their own language, with no translations required. Our mortgages can be done up to 70% of loan to value and up to 20 years. Those are the main aspects of our mortgages.
Thank you, Miguel. Fantastic. I see a lot of questions in the chat regarding the willingness to buy properties in Spain. So I recommend to include the area where you want to buy. And after the webinar, we will put you in contact with the right specialist at Olabank and with also with the right lawyer in the Fuster and Associates group, because they have also divided the country by regions. So coming back to Fuster, and thank you, Miguel. Coming back to Fuster and Associates, Maria Jose, I have one more question for you. Bueno, a couple of more questions.
Okay, so let's start.
The first one, what is the legal status for those buyers who would like to enjoy their home and spend longer periods in Spain?
Okay, so a Canadian citizen as British American can stay up to 90 days within 180 days without any visa. That's it, from January to June, they can stay 3 months, and from July to December, another 90 days. However, we have many clients that, of course, they want to spend more than that period. Maybe they are retired or they are working remotely in Spain, or they want to start a new life there. In that case, there are many different options of visa that they can apply, and it's a very easy process. I'm pretty sure that many of our attendees can be identified in 3 different groups. Maybe ones who are retired or they are about to be retired, those who are allowed to work remotely, and those who can invest more than 500,000 euros in Spain, in a property. For retired people, the best option is the non-lucrative visa. For those who can work remotely in Spain, the digital nomad visa, and for those who can invest more than 500,000 euros, the golden visa, which is still in effect. Okay, Barbara, let me tell you that we have noticed an emerging movement of young couples who cannot afford buying their first property in their home country because of the prices, and they're buying the first home in Spain with a mortgage, you know very well what I'm talking about, and working remotely from Spain. So this is a fantastic option for those, as I said, who can work remotely. What we normally do is when we know a client who is interested in living in Spain, we organize a meeting with them, analyze their personal circumstance, and advise the best visa option for them.
Yes, that's true. We are seeing lots of receiving lots of questions from Canadian individuals wanting to live in Spain for several reasons, as you were commenting, and one of those that it is a surprise for me is that young individuals moving to Spain to work remotely.
Exactly,
so
and the tax benefits are amazing also.
Yes,
really good.
So we have lots of questions regarding taxes. What taxes and fees should a non-resident buyer expect when purchasing a property in Spain?
Okay, in a nutshell, when clients or with a non-resident is buying a property in Spain, they must increase their budget between 13 and 15% on top of the purchase price. That will cover different taxes, notary fees, land registry, and legal fees. What are those taxes? When they are buying a resale property, they will be paying what is called the property transfer tax. That depends on the region, they will be paying between 6 and 10%. However, when they are buying a new building, on one hand, the VAT, which is 10%, and again, depending on the region, they will be paying an extra tax, which is the stamp duty, and goes between 0.5 and 2%. But as I said, if they increase their budget up to 15%, they won't have any last-minute surprise.
Fantastic. Could you please explain us the process for obtaining a NIE number for non-residents and why this is so important?
Okay, yes, indeed, it's very important. Okay, what is the NI number? The literal translation is the foreigner identity number. And this is a number that every foreigner needs to have in order to make any financial transaction here in Spain, to buy a property, to open a bank account, to buy a car, or to pay tax. How they can get this NI number? I'm going to start for the most difficult, which is come to Spain, make an appointment, go to the foreign office and wait 3 months. The second one is apply for the NI number at any Spanish consulate. That will depend how efficient or busy the Spanish consulate is. And the most easiest is once we have the power of attorney, we get the NI number in 2-3 weeks. But it is absolutely necessary because, as I mentioned, with the power of attorney, we can do everything for the client without the necessity of them to be here.
Exactly. Yes. Now moving forward to the potential pitfalls non-resident buyers should be aware of when buying a property in Spain. Could you give us some advice on this?
Sure, of course. These pitfalls, for us, it could be very obvious, but we totally understand that people who are buying abroad, they don't know how the system works. And some of them think that it's going to be the same as in their country, which in some things could be the same, but in other things. What is very important to consider? The first thing, not conducting due diligence in the property that they are buying. As I said, it is very important to check. There is no debt, there is no encumbrance, there is not illegal party on the property. So it's very important to conduct due diligence on the property. Another important thing that I have already mentioned is underestimating the total cost of the purchase. So some of them, they say, okay, the property costs 500,000 euros and that's it. Not. Remember, you have to increase your budget in around 15,000%. Another important thing, when they are applying for a mortgage and they are not in good hands, they can have a lot of problems. We know when clients are applying with CaixaBank, we are really relaxed that we know everything will be fine. However, we have seen many problems because the client have not been properly advised. And the last thing, overlooking the importance of having a local lawyer. That's a lawyer who look after the interests of the client to make sure that they are buying 100% legal.
Yes, that's super important. One more question, Maria Jose. Can non-residents rent their property out in Spain, and what are the legal requirements to have in consideration?
Absolutely, yes, they can rent the property out, even though we have many clients that they are buying the property to enjoy the retirement in Spain, but in the meantime, they are renting the property out to cover the cost or to pay the mortgage. A few important things. First of all, they need to get a tourist license to rent the property out. That tourist license is something that we do for our client. We'll give them a number that number has to be used to advert the property on websites such as Airbnb or Booking.com. Another important thing, they will need to make a quarter tax declaration for their incomes. Again, this is something that we do through our fiscal and tax department. These are their duties. And Barbara, let me tell you something which is what other fiscal obligation, very quickly, clients have when owning a property in Spain. Apart from do the quarter declaration, if they rent the property out, there are 2 more taxes that they need to pay, or they will have. The first one is the council tax, which is the same all over the world. What is the average price? Depend on the value of the property, but let's say it could be between 600 and 3,000 euros per year, not per month. Okay, so that is the council tax. And the second tax that they are obliged to do is a non-resident tax declaration every year that has to be at the end of the year. And this is something that we do as well. And the amount could be pretty much the same as the council tax. Okay. And this is as the 2 compulsory taxes. And as I say, if they rent the property out, they will have to do an extra quarter tax declaration.
Yes, regarding tax, I see a lot of questions in the chat, and I think we will need another webinar to tackle
I
all
will be
these
more
questions.
than happy to be with you.
One specific for taxes, no? But because
course.
there are many questions that are specific cases, so we cannot go through all of them.
Yeah, which you can share, sorry, Barbara, my email with everyone and they can make all the questions. But our fiscal department always tell me, please, Maria Jose, tell the client every case is unique. We have to analyze their personal circumstance. So if you send me your question by email, I will share with my fiscal department and I will get back to them.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yes, I think case by case is better because if not, we can spend like the whole day answering. But definitely there are things to have in mind when you are buying a property in Spain, being a non-resident from a tax point of view. No, Canada considers all your income, global income. So if you're still linked to Canada after buying a property in Spain, you will need to have in mind that you need to declare your incomes, not only in Canada, but also if you have rental income in Spain or also to declare the property. No, so this is a very important thing.
Well, there is an agreement to avoid double taxation between Spain and Canada. But as I said, every case is unique.
Yes. So thank you, Maria Jose.
It has been a pleasure, Barbara.
No, thank you. And I'm sure that we will have a lot of questions to send you afterwards. I would like to invite Miguel to open the camera again, Miguel Ataz, because I have one of the questions in the chat that I think we can answer quickly. They are asking about the down payment, the percentage down payment that we normally request, until which amount can CaixaBank, Olabank provide a mortgage?
If we can give a mortgage up to 70% of loan to value, the client will have to put down from their own resources the remaining 30% to make it 100%, plus the costs that Maria Jose has explained. That varies a little bit between 9, 10% to 12, 13, even 14%, depending on the transfer tax or VAT and some other stamp duty and other legal and tax fees. You have to let them know that at CaixaBank that will not involve any cost. Buying a house through Olabank and CaixaBank will have the same costs as you're buying a house with your own resources, with your cash. Because all the costs related to the mortgage are paid by us. We cover them. All the costs related to the mortgage, not the purchase.
And I don't see the question now here, but one of the attendees were asking if we can provide a mortgage without the income assessment. And that's something that we cannot do, as far as I know.
Our financial authorities, they require that we have to prove a debt to income ratio, and otherwise we will be very penalized. Something that there are other ways, but not through Olabank.
Thank you, Miguel. I will invite quickly to Judith, if you can engage your camera, because we have one question regarding your presentation, regarding the, let me go quickly to the question, the pricing trends in Spain, in real estate.
So our forecast for the overall Spanish economy is an increase of housing prices of 4% this year and 2.8% next year. So in the table in the presentation at the end, you have those projections, and we have just increased them. But of course, this is an overall average of the whole country. And what I try to convey in my presentation is that we are seeing very different speeds of housing prices growth. And you can see that in touristic areas, in urban areas, and also all the suburban areas, no, surrounding, let's say, Barcelona, Madrid, but also Valencia, Bilbao, Malaga, and of course in the Balearic and Canary Islands. So we are seeing prices that are higher and that are growing fast. Okay, and this basically compares to other areas in Spain, which is more less dynamic in terms of economic activity, demographic trends. So you have the Castillas and other areas which are not very dynamic, and the markets are not growing that fast. But the areas that most people are interested in are growing much, much faster. And in fact, just to give a figure, so we have around 10% of the municipalities above 25 5,000 inhabitants that are growing above 10% annually. Okay, so we have high growth rates in housing prices in some urban and touristic areas.
Interesting. Thank you, Judith. Thank you to all of you for your insightful contributions today for this roundtable. All the questions that are not answered, we will answer them afterwards. If we cannot do it from the chamber, we will connect you with a panelist that was in charge of that section. So please be with us, that we will answer as soon as possible. We are also going to share the presentations, and we are recording the session. So I want to share with you a video, a very short video that Hola Bank kindly gave us. And after that, I will give my closing remarks. So I'm going to share my screen now. Judith, if you can switch off your camera.
My book, my office, my song, my sky, my sail, my horizon, my special place, my friends, my land, my favorite dish, my day, my night, my little girl, my faithful companion, my view, my project, my comfort, my peace of mind, my language. We are from where we are born, but also from where we choose to live. Hola Bank, my bank in Spain.
I hope you could see it and hear it. It's very, very nice, the feeling after watching this video. I want to express my gratitude to all our panelists today, Nadia Castillo, Maria Jose Sanchez, Miguel Ataz, for sharing their experience with us. Your insights have provided valuable information to the audience and how to navigate the Spanish real estate market. A special thank you goes to Judith Montoriol, lead economist at CaixaBank, for her insightful presentation on macro Spain with a focus on the real estate market. Your insights have added depth to our conversation and help us to better understand the broader context of property investment in Spain. I will also like to extend my appreciation to Laura Yamaguchi, Director of Hola Bank, and her team of professionals across Spain. Your dedication to providing exceptional service to clients in the real estate market is truly recommendable, and we thank you for your ongoing support and collaboration. To our audience members, thank you for joining us today. Any further questions we will be answering later. In closing, I encourage everyone to continue seeking expert advice and guidance when considering property investment in Spain. The process may seem daunting, but with the right knowledge and support, it can be a rewarding and successful endeavor. Thank you to Fuster and Associates and CaixaBank, valuable members of the Spanish Chamber of Commerce in Canada. Your support is much appreciated. And I invite everyone to visit the Chamber's website to get more information about upcoming events in person and online. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you to all. So I close the webinar now. So questions will be answered after the webinar. Thank you to all.
Thank you. Bye.
Hola, Laura.